remission, trying to prolong his life. But Craig always talked about a cure. Well, you got the feeling it was almost like he'd already seen the future. That he was just waiting for this to play out until he could get back to his life. And yet he was only 8 years old.
Craig, these pills are just to relax you.
I don't need them.
We always use them for the children.
He says he doesn't need them.
The specs mask? Let's see how this fits.
I need just a minute. I am master of my body. Bad guys, get out. I'm ready now.
Well, it looks like they've made the right decision about the radiology. The tumours on the spine have cleared.
That's wonderful news.
Steady on. Let's not get too excited. The tumour on the brain is unchanged.
Unchanged means not growing.
Sean Connery.
It's a get-well coconut from Easter Island.
I hope to make it soon. My deadline's in 30 minutes.
That's it. One more, Craig.
Richard Gere!
He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment we've been waiting for. Craig Shergold has smashed the Guinness record of 1,265 cards. The new record is 1,016,240 cards, and there's no end in sight. To celebrate this record-setting moment, we have a surprise for Craig.
On behalf of the Guinness Book of World Records, present the certificate to Craig Shergold.
They called this afternoon. I wanted it to be a surprise.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Everybody who...
Get the car! Get the car!
The other way.
There's no easy way to say this.
He's not.
No. But the tumor's on the move again. It's just a matter of time.
How long?
2 or 3 weeks. Possibly 4.
Couldn't you operate again?
No. He's far too weak. But you have to remember that it's the quality of life that counts. And you've given Craig...
Sod the quality of life. I want my son alive.
We've done everything we can now. He will seem to get better when we stop the radiation. His speech will clear and his coordination will improve, but really it's just a matter of time. Why don't you take him home?
Will he be in pain?
When the time comes, we'll give him morphine. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
I'm never going to open these things. Why don't you just throw them away? That's my boy.
So now the radiation's done.
See you after work, eh?
I'll open them when we have time, right?
Right.
Mom?
It's okay. It's from a doctor in America. He wants to see you. I knew something would happen. I knew it.
Marion, hello. How's Craig?
Not so well.
Oh.
There's a doctor in Virginia who wants to see him. A Dr. Neil Cassell.
Ah, yes, he's a fine doctor.
I need Craig's records to take with us.
Marion, I hate to see you drag Craig halfway around the world. There's nothing they can do for him in Virginia that we can't do here. Believe me, if anything could be done, we'd do it.
They have a new treatment, something called a gamma knife.
Oh, yes, it's a large, cumbersome instrument.
Dr. Middleton, I'm not giving up. I still believe Craig can be cured.
Well, another operation would be very risky, you know. Very. But if that's what you want, if you're sure, then I'm willing to do it.
You've done your part. You already saved his life once. Now it's time for the Americans.
Lisa.
Yes, Doctor?
Would you prepare copies of Craig Shergold's records, please? Mrs. Shergold will be in to pick them up immediately. Thank you. I wish you all the luck in the world. Please give my love to Craig. Oh, and give him that.
I will. Thank you. Ernie, we're going to America.
Are you out of your mind? We can't afford to go to America.
We don't have to pay for anything. An American billionaire is paying for everything. Look.
Marion, what have you done?
I told you God would find a way.
Marion.
This morning, you tossed a letter into the rubbish. One letter. When I picked it up, I saw that light. The same light I saw in Dr. Middleton's picture.
Yeah, well, he didn't cure Craig, did he?
It's from a doctor in America, a Dr. Neil Cassell.
We don't know anything about this doctor.
Dr. Middleton does. Listen to what happened. Mr. Kluge, the billionaire, was reading about Craig's appeal, and he decided to send him a card. Then he felt God tap him on the shoulder and tell him, you should do more. So he called his friend, Dr. Neil Cassell.
Love, it sounds like a wild goose chase. It's not fair to Craig.
How much proof do you need? Can't you see that God is helping us?
Dad, Dad! If I'm telling you, I'm going to America. America!
Everything's so clean.
You had a good trip?
Yes, thanks.
Mum was scared on the plane.
Oh? What about you?
Nah, they're built to fly, aren't they?
Indeed they are. Well, as I told you on the telephone, we have a new treatment for brain tumors. It's an instrument called the Gamma Knife.
What exactly does that do?
It fires high-energy radiation beams directly into the brain. With some tumors, the Gamma Knife can hit the tumor today, and the patient can walk out tomorrow, with no need for further radiation treatments.
And you think you can do this for Craig?
I certainly hope so. First, we'll have to run a series of tests. You'll be familiar with most of them, eye and coordination tests, brain scans, and I need to run an arteriogram because I want to find out if the tumor is feeding off of a blood vessel. If it is, we can cut off the blood supply, reduce the size of the tumor, so we can use the Gamma Knife.
And if it isn't?
We'll worry about that when we get the results of the tests. Do you have any questions?
Do you know you're not wearing socks?
I never wear socks. Now, Craig, I'm going to want you to tell me what you see.
It's gonna be an E. It's always an E.
Okay.
It's an S. S is in sneaky.
S is in smart. Smart enough to know you'd have the E memorized.
Well, I got it right anyway, didn't I?
Yes, you did. All right, Craig, we need you to be very still. Good boy. How you doing in there?
It's bloody cold. Colder than London.
At least it's not raining.
Or snowing.
How far along are you?
The catheter's approaching the neck, and I'm about to inject the dye.
I just hope this thing is feeding off an artery. The tumor is not feeding off of a blood vessel, and it's far too large to use the Gamma Knife. It's about 5 centimeters in diameter, and the Gamma Knife is only really effective for tumors up to 3 centimeters. I wish I'd seen him sooner.
There must be something you can do. You can't just let him die.
I suppose I could operate. If we can reduce the size of the tumor, then perhaps we'd be able to use the Gamma Knife later on. But the risks would be...
Risks of what?
Well, I'd say there's about a 20% chance that he'd die on the operating table. And if he didn't die, the operation could leave him blind, or deaf, or in a coma.
But if it's a success, then he'd be cured.
I wish I could offer you that hope, but I'm afraid I can't. Realistically, I think the most we can give him is another 6 to 9 months.
Is there any alternative?
No.
Then we have to do it.
Marion, we
When
can't.
would you want to do it?
Well, if you decide that you want this procedure, we should do it immediately, tomorrow morning. But I want you to think about it very carefully. Read the consent forms. Think about it. Talk about it. Is this a risk you really want to take?
I can't do it. I can't let another doctor hack into our son. I mean, look what we've done to him. His body's full of tubes. We've let doctors cut into him and burn his insides with chemicals, and for what? For nothing.
This operation can save him.
That's what you said about the last one. Dr. Middleton was going to save him.
And he did. Craig would have died without that operation.
The chemotherapy and the radiation and the gamma knife. You heard what Dr. Cassell said. The most he can offer Craig is 9 more months of pain.
What about the light? And the dream? And Mr. Kalugi, he felt God tap him on the shoulder. When I first had that dream, I knew there was something wrong. And you said it was nothing. And then when Craig had his earaches, I knew there was something wrong. And you said, listen to the doctors. Well, I'm not listening to the doctors. I'm listening to me. And I know he can get well. Please. Are you so sure that God won't save him? Are you so sure that you won't even give him a chance? Craig, darling. Your dad and I need to talk to you. We have a very important decision to make.
What did the doctor say?
Right now, your tumor's too big for the gamma knife. If Dr. Cassell operates, he might be able to cut it down and use the gamma knife later. But he can't promise anything.
Doctors never promise.
The operation is very dangerous, and there's a possibility you could die.
I won't die, I promise.
You could end up in a coma. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I've seen them on telly.
If that happened, would you blame us?
No, I could never blame you. I'd blame the cancer.
Remember the last operation, how much pain you were in? Do you want to go through all that again?
No pain, no gain.
It's up to you, Craig. Do you want the operation?
Yeah, I like the doctor. Is it soon?
The doctor wants to do it tomorrow morning.
Can Dad stay with me tonight? Mom, I love you very much, but you worry. You'll be touching me all night, asking me if I'm okay, and I need to sleep.
Of course, darling.
Sleep tight.
I'll tell Dr. Cassell.
Okay.
Mrs. Shergold, you have a package from London.
I'll have Ernie bring it in. Good morning, darling.
I had a long talk with the doctor. He said he's going to cut through the top of my head instead of the back. More difficult, but it gives him a better angle.
I'm sure he'll do whatever's best.
The orderlies are on their way up.
Already? Are you scared?
A little bit. But I'll be asleep. I won't know about it. Don't worry, Mum, I won't die.
Are you ready to go? Mr. Shergold, I will need you to sign this.
Good morning, everybody. We ready? Okay, let's turn on the cameras. The patient is prepped. This is Dr. Neil Cassell at the University of Virginia. The patient is an 8-year-old male. His name is Craig Shergold. Craig has a malignant tumor in the pineal region. He's undergone previous surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation. Our goal is to debulk the tumor so that we can use the Gamma knife and prolong his life. Okay, let's go.
I can't just wait here. Let's put up some cards.
As we approach the tumor, we're seeing a great deal of scar tissue, the result of previous surgery and radiation. That's interesting. I'm retracting the tissue. Would you hold it right there, please? Thank you. We're seeing something white, shiny, about 5 centimeters in diameter. May I please have the scalpel and the forceps? Thank you.
Doesn't cut.
Look at the plane of separation. Looks like we're going to have to chip it away.
So many people are praying for him. God has to listen.
We've got enough.
I can get more.
It's too dangerous.
Retract the tissue, please. A little further. Thank you. And further. Suction. We have to find the site of hemorrhage.
We're losing a lot of blood.
Bipolar cautery. We're not going to lose him.
Follow me, please.
How is he?
I don't know.
He's alive. It's warm.
They're both warm.
Craig, can you hear me? Sweetheart, can you squeeze my hand?
I told you I wouldn't die.
I need a promise. No matter how good he feels, for the next 6 months, keep him off the football field.
Are you saying he's cured?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We chipped away over 90% of the tumor, and I don't believe the rest will be a problem.
It's not malignant?
No. We suspected that when we discovered that it was made of a pearl-like substance, and the biopsy confirmed it.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. How can a teratoma become a pearl?
That is a very good question. I can't tell you why we found what we found, but I can tell you that Craig is an exceptional patient. I knew that the day I met him.
Doctor,
Yes.
something strange happened to the videotapes. At the moment of the first incision, about 3 minutes into the tapes, they all go black.
That's not possible. They're all on separate circuits.
We checked them twice.
Would you excuse me, please?
I'm so proud of you.
I'm gonna think about football now.
Okay. How could it become a pearl? And what's happened to the tapes? I mean, how can they all go black if they're on separate circuits?
Only when God performs a miracle, you don't ask how, you just give thanks.
Craig, what are you going to do now?
I'm gonna grow my hair back.
What do you think of Dr. Cassell?
Reggie, what are you doing here?
God, would you believe we've run out of knock-knock jokes?
It's a shame you can't come with us to the airport.
Not to worry. We're on the same flight. Come on, we're going to miss the plane.
Bye.
I'm going to enjoy watching that boy grow up.
You try to walk.
Doc said take it easy and you sit. Thanks so much.
Mr. Shergold, do you believe God saved your son?